The Global Latin Factor Podcast.
Welcome, you know, to another episode of the Global Latin Factor Podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. And today we have a very special treat because we have an artist, MC, comic series collector, CEO of La Máquina, the Machine Group Empire, Young Mexico, artist of the people. It's GT Garza in the house. What's up, man?
Man.
We have an audience today too.
And he got the comic book collector.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Told you, bro.
Yo, what's up, man?
I told you could quiz me about you. I got you, bro.
What?
Are you ready? So we're going to start off with a segment I like to call Preguntas al Chile. Preguntas al Chile. Got some graphics playing right now. Subscribe to YouTube if you want to see them. Ready?
Let's
It's
get
going to
it.
be tough, bro. Tacos or tortas?
Tacos. Whoa.
Uh-oh.
I answered that too fast. Let's go with tacos.
Tacos.
Okay.
Corn tortilla, flour tortillas.
Corn.
Gordita, sopes.
Cortita for sure.
Mexican coca, jarritos.
A jarrito.
What flavor?
I want to go with, what is it, lime?
Yeah. Lime.
Let's go with that one.
Limón. Agua de horchata, jamaica, o tamarindo.
Tamarindo for sure.
Alrighty. What about salsa verde, salsa roja?
We're going to go green.
I know the question to the next one, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Menudo pozole.
Menudo for sure.
Absolutely. Churros or flan?
Oh, churro.
Okay. I know you like, I don't know if you like beer, but Dos Equis, Corona, Modelo, Victoria.
I'm going to go with a Corona.
All right. Tequila or mezcal?
Tequila.
Valentina, Tapatio, Cholula sauce.
Mm.
Dun, dun, dun.
What'd you say? I don't even put those. I don't use those a
You
lot.
don't use those?
Not
nothing
really.
wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
I'm a green sauce on a taco.
So you like that natural, natural?
Yeah.
Nah, that's good. Nothing wrong with that. We'll skip that one. Paletas, you know the little candy pops?
Yeah.
Sandía, elote, or mango.
Ooh, elote.
Okay. And the conchitas, you like the brown ones, the pink ones, or the white ones?
The what?
The conchitas, the white ones, the pink ones, or the brown ones?
I'm going white.
All righty. All right. So about when you hear the word Latino, what comes to mind when you hear the word Latino?
Worldwide. I think we're everywhere. Whether you're Mexicano, Peruvian, from Honduran, Salvadorian,
Yep.
or just all over the place.
True that. And do you consider yourself Latino? Will you identify? Do you care if anybody calls you Latino?
Mexicano, Latino. I mean, I know Mexicano is a certain area that we're,
Yep.
originated from, and
Yep.
Latino gives a more broader area of all of us together.
Yep. True that.
So I think it's just a way that people identify the Latin community.
True that. Appreciate that. Okay, so, Senor Garza. So, pretty much a lot of the interviews already cover the fact of how you got started, right? You started pretty much seeing your homeboys rapping in the back of the bus. You really liked it. You walk home plenty of times kind of practicing. But how many years did you walk home practicing before you were able to actually get up and went into your first, like jump in and wanted to get in there?
Man, that's a good question.
Mhm.
At least a good 2 years.
2 years.
Just walking home from school to the bus, back and forth, making sure that it was something I really wanted to do, but also at the same time, making sure that I wasn't tripping and that like I was just thinking I was good and I really wasn't.
Really?
Because I probably wasn't. But at the time, from I guess now to back then, I had to start somewhere. And I just developed a small little style that, I watched from taking little pieces here and there from people that I listened to, my friends that I was around. And it became something that I just knew I wanted to do.
Yeah. So 2 years that you like like, do you remember any of the stuff that you were like? Were you like speaking out loud, or was it all in your mind?
Both. Because when you're walking home, nobody can. You look crazy, probably. Well, yeah. But like nobody's like really watching.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So you're just walking, and then when I wasn't on like a major street. I was in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So you're surrounded by houses. You're just walking down the street. So for me, me doing it out loud or in my head, I would do it more so in my head when I was actually at a competition.
Right.
Or when I was, about to freestyle in front of a bunch of people. That's when I would do it in my head. And when I would say it out loud is when I was by myself, either in my room, walking home, or, just at the house and nobody was around.
Nice.
And it just slowly started growing.
So do you remember, because I remember you saying the time when there was some kind of event they always had and you always go, but you never actually got on stage. Do you remember the day when you just decided, you know what, let me get it. Let me jump
Yeah,
in.
man. So the place was called the YA. The YA stand for Youth Advocates.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it was like a community center for kids to go, like an after school program.
Right.
And at this community center, it was like a warehouse where you could go B-boy, you could BMX,
nice.
You could get your hair cut.
What?
Yeah, you could, there was a DJ by the name of Joe B. He used to spin nothing but boom bap and freestyle beats.
Right.
You could buy pizza. You know what I'm saying? Like you could do all these things there. And every Thursday is when everybody would meet there after school about 5, 6 to about 9 p.m. You know what I'm saying? You could go there, hang out, choose any one of the ones you wanted to do, but they were all going on at once.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And the DJ every night on a Thursday would open up the mic and, he would start freestyling. He's like, do we have anybody in the house that wants to freestyle? And I would just sit there every Thursday and just, be like, I want to go. And then one day I just got up and I went up there and just freestyled.
Were you nervous, scared, or everything?
Definitely. Then for sure. Because I didn't know the reaction of my peers. I didn't know what they were going to say or think. And I think at the time, I didn't know if I was any good or not. And so it became like my outlet to just be around my friends, but also people that I enjoyed being around that I really didn't know. And every Thursday I would go there and just freestyle with this guy named Joe B. You know what I mean? And we would just kick freestyles, and then slowly but surely it turned into people would come to this place and try to battle me. And then...
So you became the man that everybody's trying to take out.
Man, it was crazy. Yeah, I remember a guy pulling up on his BMX bike and goes on a mic and was like, where's GT at? And this is before they...
Straight up, just like that.
Yeah, before they were calling me Garza or anything. And everybody, and since I was cool with everybody there, they were like, oh, and so everybody points at me and they're like, oh, he's calling you out. Just like in a B-boy battle, you go see B-boys and they go up to you and they call you out. And you're like, what are you going to do? You're not going to battle them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was just that time. And so, we ended up battling. I beat him.
Nice.
And then everybody kind of gave me a lot more respect from that day. And it just made me more confident and want to do it.
Yeah. So when DJ Kool-Aid decided to suggest to you to add the Garza, what was thinking to your mind as far as like wanting to like, yeah, that sounds dope because it's gonna represent more of my gente, or was it like, because you said you're not cool enough to come up with a name, but I know it meant something to add the last name.
Yes.
So what
it was definitely at the moment, to be honest with you, it just separated me from another GT that was in my city.
Yeah.
Because they would always get us confused.
Oh,
He's a DJ.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so, when I was coming up rhyming, people were like, oh, I heard you DJing tonight. I was like, nah, I don't DJ. You know what I mean? And when Kool-Aid said it to me at the time, I think he knew ahead of time that it was more relatable to the Mexicano and Latin culture than it was for me to just call myself GT.
Right.
I wasn't even thinking that far ahead. And so I think he already knew it and just blessed me with that game to be like, hey, bro, do this because I promise you later it's going to help you.
Yeah.
And I never thought about it until, man, I don't want to say until later on in my career. And then that's when it became more of, well, you putting Garza behind your name, now you represent your family.
Right.
Now you represent a whole culture of people.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to talk about? What are you going to be about? You know, what are you doing? You know, who you saying it to? Like, what are you representing?
Right.
And so music became a lot more deeper than just freestyle.
True.
And so it became more of like, you know, a power word and, you know, presenting it to the people and how are they going to receive it. And then once receiving it, when they see me out at the mall or in the street, how are they going to treat me?
Yeah.
So all these things kind of played in my head to be like, you know, if you go out and talk about these certain subjects or you connect with people, whether it be about hustling, you know, they're going through things in life or whatever, you're really using music to vent as an outlet to get, it's like therapy.
Yeah, it is therapy. If I heard it recorded for you and Crystal Poppin', it would be like therapy.
Yeah, and so you get your emotions out, but you don't even realize that the emotions and things that you're going through, everybody goes through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like everybody's, you know, parents went through certain things, you know, you went through certain things growing up. And you're not the only person that has. So when you present it to the people on a beat and you're telling them your story and they can relate to it, that's how you connect with a fan.
Yeah.
Or that's how you connect with the people.
Yeah.
And so they start to like your music and then like you as a person because they understand you're human as well.
Yeah, true to that. Okay, so when you won that competition and they got you to the Apollo, I believe it was Foot Locker and Adidas put it together.
Yeah.
You won a battle. It took you all the way to the Apollo. What was it feeling whenever you got there as far as like getting the news that you won and then knowing that you were going to go to another state to compete? How was that?
It was crazy because the mall that it happened in was in the same hood that I grew up in.
Mm.
And it was the same mall that I used to go to growing up all the time. And for me, it was probably the biggest moments of me being a kid growing up, being like, you know, 15, 16, and them saying, hey, man, you won this battle. We're going to give you, you know, a bunch of clothes. We're going to fly you and whoever else you want with you to New York. You guys are going to stay in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're going to have the battle at the Apollo, which is in Harlem. And so for me, I had never been out the state. And so I knew my sister had never been out the state.
Took your sister.
I took my sister.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know, if I get to experience something, I want her to experience it with me. So I took her with me. You know, we went out there to New York. We battled. It was like the best of like 6 cities.
You got second place, right?
And I got second place.
That's dope.
And then I came back and missed my first day of school for my sophomore year of high school.
Yeah, they had the blackouts at that time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it was just a big thing for me just to, you know, go and experience something on that magnitude.
Yeah, which one felt better? The first battle you won when you won the rims that you changed to $1,000, or winning that competition and getting to go to the Apollo?
Man, they both have a certain significance in my life because one of them gave me the confidence to keep going, and the other one showed me that it was possible for me to make this really happen.
Yeah.
Like going to the Apollo made me feel like if rap music can take you out your neighborhood, your city, your state, and get you way out here, then bro, you can really do this.
Yeah. And then the part where you got to help your mom.
Yeah.
You had to work 2 jobs and, you know, contribute to the house. I bet that was pretty significant as well.
And I didn't even realize the magnitude of that at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Looking back on it, you know, I've seen my mom go through a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we all have.
Yeah.
Seen our mothers go through a lot.
Absolutely.
And at the time, I think it was me just being like, if I can go to, you know, buy some school clothes, yeah, it's going to help my mom. But like, I get to buy the things that I like always wanted, like whether it be Jordans or these things, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm helping her out, but I'm also being able to get the things I could never touch, never reach. You know what I mean? And so I really didn't realize later till it was like, yo, you're really helping your mom like a lot, bro. And I knew that, you know, if that little bit could just go that far, then I should keep going.
True that.
So I just kept going.
That's badass. What did your mom feel and your pops feel about the whole thing now that where you were at, as far as how you've been scaling up from the times you've been working on your music to now?
before it was more of an obsession to them.
Mhm.
They were like, man, you're crazy. What are you doing? Because, there were periods where it was good and there were periods where it was bad.
Mm.
And the periods where it was bad was the transitional phase of, okay, you're not going to be battling and trying to go to these freestyle competitions and win this money. You're going to try to, convert into like being an artist and selling CDs and
Yeah.
tapes and, putting your music out. And at the time, I really wasn't selling a lot of CDs. I really wasn't putting out, music where it was like, oh, let me buy it, let me buy it. It was like more of a asking, hey, do you want to listen to my music? Hey, do you want to
Yeah.
buy my tape? Da, da, da. So it wasn't like money was just flowing in from that situation. So there was a time when I was just doing it, trying to make a name for myself. And I was doing some things, but as an income, it wasn't coming in.
Mm.
And so for them, it became more of a like, bro, do you really know what you're doing, or are you out here tripping?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, nah, man, I'm not tripping. Like, I know this is going to work. And after a while, when it started really working and things started paying off, they could see what I saw.
Right.
And then it gave me a little bit more respect on, I see why you're doing this. I understand why you're doing this. And if this is what you want to do, go hard until you just can't do it anymore.
That's what's up. That's dope. Okay, I want to touch up on something that you had talked about. And if you don't want to talk about it, it's cool. But I think it's important for maybe somebody else can hear it and maybe like have a change or be better educated and not take those decisions. So you had left to Laredo because you actually got raided, if I'm not mistaken. You had talked about on your interviews. Is that something that happened that you could have avoided, or there was something that you learned about that experience? Because you even dropped the machine name to change it to La Máquina. Is there anything that anybody can take away or learn from what happened? And because it was dramatic. I mean, you almost dropped music and moved to another place. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
man. It was one of those times where I really felt like God stepped in and was like, you want something so bad, but you're going about it the wrong way,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going to show you what you want that bad. Going about it the wrong way is not the way to do it. And I'm going to take it all away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really want to do it, then you need to do it the right way. And I think that was just his way of showing me, like, number one, this isn't how you should be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Two, if you go any further this way, it's going to be a lot worse for you down the road. So let me stop you now, because if you were to make it in this way, it's probably going to be a lot worse than what it is right now.
Okay. So without going into details, because I know you're very private, you might not want to talk about it. Might have been in the illegal type of spectrum, and it said like, you know what, this is not gonna happen that way.
There's only a few ways to really come up in music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dope money.
There's dope money, and rap money.
Yeah.
And for us, we thought, the dope money or, the hustling spectrum was the way to go.
Yeah. But it's short lived after a while, because you're always paranoid about different things.
In my eyes, that's just a race against time.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are going to fall short on that time. Nothing lasts forever. And you might think it's going to last forever, or you might think like, man, I'm on a roll, like I'm good. This is going to, like nothing can stop me.
Yeah.
Until that train stops.
Yeah. And I think after seeing it from now, going backwards, I think for you, it was like a great blessing, right? Even though it was a scary time.
It was definitely a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
It was something I wish would have never happened. And, at the same time, I kind of feel like I wouldn't be in this position I am today if that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So even the decision to start, getting into, the mix with different people and doing different things, if I wouldn't have done that, it might not have put me in this position.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it is a blessing in disguise because it taught me a lot. It taught me how to hustle different. It taught me don't ever do that again. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
And, it made me realize that, if you really want something, then you got to go about it the right way.
Right. All right. Let's get into the project. So you're here. You're doing a press run for your new EP that you just dropped. It's called "The Man Who Fell from Earth." That dropped July 29th.
Yeah.
With Lion Legacy Records. It's an 8-track EP, and there's right now one visual. And as you were telling me, there's going to be another one coming up here shortly. So tell me about the artwork, because I know you're into comics, series comics, even some of the projects you're done, you make it into series, which kind of lines up with collecting comics in series, because you're done like Brown by Honor 1, 2, and 3, and different things like that. So why did you go with that type of cover?
Great, I've never even told anybody this. Maybe Money just knows, but I already have the artwork for part 2, 3, and 4.
You already have it.
I already got it. I'll show it to you as soon as we get off the air. I'll show it to you.
For sure.
The title, "The Man Who Fell to Earth," was actually something that I fell into just thinking about names and finding out that it was a movie, a book. They got a new version out right now.
They have a series. They have a TV series.
They have a TV series. And I didn't realize it at the time because I come from representing La Máquina. And so I saw it as like kind of like an anime spectrum where it's like the series Gundam Wing. I don't know if you know about that, but they're like, people that are in these machines and they're in space. They're doing all this crazy stuff. It's an anime. And so I took it into a few different like ways to look at it.
Yeah.
And being La Máquina, like in my mind, I thought like, okay, the man who fell to earth, if I was in, an anime, or if I was really in a machine and I fell to earth, what are the first things I would see? What are the first things that I would experience?
So is that the Houston skyline that's on the city?
I believe the graphic artist who made it is Willow Hawk. He goes by WH Creative right now. And me and him have done tons of art together. Like he's a mastermind. I don't know if he used the city of Houston per se.
You used your birthday. If y'all super fans, y'all wouldn't know his birthday.
He did use my birthday on the front. Because it was the numbers that I felt were going to be like, when you read on the armor of a machine, they kind of have like the numbers on the suit and things like that. And so, you seeing the two machines on the cover and then me stepping over the city, it's kind of just a representation of coming out of like La Máquina.
Like something falling down.
Yes. And so, it was more of a way for me to say, if it's something that I experienced on the first day I was here, or a year after I was here, what would I say or talk about if I just came down and, spoke, or just, came to the earth? Nice. And, other ways that I look at it as well is, it's a way for me to vent and experience things that I've gone through in my life. You know what I mean?
There's a little venting sounding a little bit, because there was a little bit of frustration, like people were not giving you props or forgetting about you because some of the lyrics talk about that. I'm like,
There's certain things that I've always wanted to say or express that I felt that I needed to say, but I never really wanted to feel like a complaining rapper, because I hate complaining rappers.
Right.
And that's something I never wanted to go through. But at the same time, I felt that I just had so much on my mind that I needed to get out. I had so many feelings that I wanted to say. And if I kept them balled up, they would probably just come out the wrong way in something else.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like frustrating, and maybe get frustrated with my partners, maybe my family, and taking emotions out on people instead of using music what I use it for. Which is therapy.
Yeah.
And so this time around, I just felt it was like more of a way for me to just say what I really felt and what I'm really going through. And it's like, bro, if this is how you feel, bro, you got to say it. Like just say it.
Was this the right timing for you to express that, as far as wanting to say that and really put it out there as how you felt?
Definitely. I feel that it was the best time now because I think I've skipped over it many times. We all go through, periods in our life where we feel like, certain things should be better, or, how come I wasn't dealt this card or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you might not say anything at the time. If somebody bumps into you and doesn't say excuse me, you might not say nothing that day, but if they do it again, you might turn around and be like, hey, bro,
what's wrong with you?
yeah, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just one of those days, one of those times in my life where I was like, let it out, bro. You know what I mean? Because if you don't let it out and you don't express how you feel, you're going to carry this on your shoulder for the rest of your life and never have a chance to express it.
And that's not healthy for you to keep out of that stuff out,
It's
right?
not, bro. It's not. Especially when you're, doing music and you're just trying to vent.
Nice. So now that you have To Be Honest has the visual. So you're going to do just 2 videos?
We plan on doing 4.
Uh-huh.
We've already shot 3.
Mm-hmm.
1, To Be Honest, has released.
Yep. It's doing great numbers, by the way. It's looking
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to release the intro, Formula One tonight. Yeah. It's probably out right now while we're talking.
Let me check.
It dropped at 10:30.
Nice.
And the last one that I shot is called Shattered.
Shatter.
Yeah. And that's basically talking about life experiences and things that I've been through.
Yep. It's out already.
Came out?
Yep. It's out.
Yeah. And so that's basically just talking about life experiences and things that I've been through, just from back then till now. So those 3 have already been shot. And then the last one we want to shoot is a song called The Sprint.
The Sprint. I like The Sprint.
The Sprint it's a cool record. It's got an up-tempo vibe to it. And it's probably one of my favorite records off the album.
I like Dollar Signs. I got the Sprint.
Dollar Sign, yeah, man.
Has a nice vibe to it too.
Definitely.
And that's going to be all the videos for this round.
Yeah, we'll probably shoot 4 out of the 8.
Yeah. Why do you not like to curse? Is that because you feel so strong in the power of the spoken word?
It was, you know what?
You did cuss on this one, but
yeah. I've never really just felt like I needed to curse.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like, and even when I'm rapping really hard on certain, like if you really listen to The Sprint, it's really aggressive. It's really up tempo. And you would think or feel that I cursed on that song. But if you really listen to it, the emotion gives you the same feel as if I were to be cursing.
Mm-hmm.
So the same way that I could curse and have that impact, I try to do without cursing, but saying what I want to say, so I don't need to curse.
Right. Okay, so that's your picture right now. If you look at the cover, you have, what are the 2 faces? Is that the robot that you were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So you got him kind of landing, and then this is what he's saying as far as the EP and what you expect to. What about the sound? Who was the producers that you went with? Was it I think you said you had a homie that used to do the beats for you way back in the days. That he's still working with y'all?
Yes, I still work with Risco Funk.
Mm-hmm.
On this one, I have a producer that I met in LA maybe about 2 years ago. His name is Amnesia Beats.
Mm.
Me and him did Sometime in the H together, which dropped earlier this year. And that was a CD that I dedicated to the city of Houston and, the sound and the culture that, we come from. And me and him just have such a dope chemistry that, we just didn't stop working after that CD.
Nice.
So he produced the majority of this one. Another producer, Marco V, he did the intro. Cinematic did Stress Free. And I want to say I think that's it for this tape. I think I've only used 3 producers and on this tape, and Amnesia probably did the majority.
Nice. All right. So what should the people go get this one right now? Besides being a fan of you, if they never heard of you, this is the first time they're hearing about it. Why should they go get this right now and listen to it? Just why?
You're getting a hungry GT Garza.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting a GT Garza that you've probably been wanting to hear for a long time. Because there was a time when music became really conscious for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would try to watch what I would say. And I would try not to say certain things that might upset somebody else or do this or do that. And this time around, I don't really think I tried that.
You didn't give it.
Basically.
No, not really though, but in a dope way as far as rhyming and the way that you deserve that right to do so, because you are well spoken by different artists that are well established in Houston. You've been doing your thing. Now, it's not me, it's them saying it, because that's how they feel way back when you were a youngin' to now. And listening to the tracks, I'm like, yeah, he should feel this way because he's been working. Like if they say 10,000 hours is mastery, you're past that and some. You know what I mean?
Man, and they do say that.
Yeah,
You know what
it
I
is
mean?
true though. You have done more than 10,000.
Yeah,
You've been on it for a minute.
a lot of hours.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So many hours, I think I forgot how many is in it.
Beyond that. Let me ask you this though. So again, go grab it right now. The Man Who Fell to Earth already dropped. They're all there available, all streaming platforms. There's another video right now. So the recording of the video just dropped today as we were talking.
Yeah.
So go check that out and definitely be on the lookout. All right. Another question that I have for you is that has there ever been a real good deal with a record label that it was really hard for you to like say no to, but you just for the better of you felt it wasn't something that you could sign and you decided to walk?
Yes, there have been instances where I could assign to certain labels or certain people
Yeah.
that just didn't feel right for me at the time.
Right.
Or even if it didn't feel right, I was too nervous and scared to sign it because I didn't know what I was signing. I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't have a lawyer. You know, I'm just, a kid off the street that was just rapping.
Yeah, you hear the horror stories about people signing and all of a sudden they have no rights to nothing. All
Yeah,
their
and
music catalogs is gone.
And so I didn't have any, money to get a lawyer or figure all that stuff out. So a lot of the times I didn't know what I was dealing with or who I was dealing with, to sign
Yeah.
with. So I passed up on it. And over time, it just became one of those things where I had to learn the business.
Yeah.
And learning the business is something you should do from the jump.
Yeah.
You should do that first. While you're rapping, also like learn pieces of the business.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what you deserve. You learn, what's in your right to keep.
What you deserve, what you're worth.
What you're worth for sure. And you can understand, when you get with a company or you get with a distribution or something, what they're supposed to do for you.
Mm-hmm.
What falls in your lap and then what falls in their lap.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to sit there and be like, oh, well, this person or this label didn't do this for me or this company didn't do this. Maybe that's not the job. You know what I mean? So you just have to know, the business and what you're in it for.
Is that what you went with Lion Legacy this time? Because this is the first project you dropped with them, right?
This is actually, yeah. So I signed with Lion Legacy for a year for a contract for us to try to build off of what we could together.
As far as distribution or what is it with?
No, it's a full-blown record company out of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Lion Legacy. We did a April to April deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically to see where we're both at and if we really like each other.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so the first tape that I put out with them is The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Nice.
And then the next tape that I'll drop with them will be early next year.
You got a name for it?
It might be part 2. Yeah, because I
continued.
already got the artwork and the whole series I got mapped out in my head.
That's dope.
Like I got it mapped out to the 4th one. And the 4th one is not even titled The Man Who Fell to Earth. Just but everything goes with it. So I might put that out next. I haven't really even thought that far ahead. Me and Baby Bash are working on Player Made Mexicans 4.
You are.
So that'll be the next tape that, people will hear me on with a bulk of music coming out.
With a platinum artist,
Man,
Baby Bash.
this guy here, man. So shout out to him for the blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And so after this run of The Man Who Fell to Earth, that's what I'll be pushing next.
That's what's up. All right. So there's Rashi, Lucky Luciano, Baby Bash, King Lil G, J Dog, That Boy T, Charlie Boy. All of them speak super highly of you as far as not only you spitting and be able to like be lyrical, but also just being a super humble person. Where does that come from as far as you being humble? Does that start at home? Is that just something that you just the way you were brought up, or how did that come to be? Because these are well-established people, and I'm pretty sure there's more that speak highly of you. But I know for sure that I've seen them say this on interviews.
I think it came from home first because, my pops was in the Navy and...
To a military brat.
Yeah, he was really like if we would walk out the house and our clothes was wrinkled,
Oof.
he'd be like, bro, go back in the house and iron your shirt. He wouldn't let us leave with him with wrinkled clothes.
I feel that.
You know what I mean? Like we couldn't. He would be like, "Go back in the house." Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Because we were an extension of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we represented him. And so for me, I think that just became a thing of respect.
Yeah.
And so when I came out, to do music, at first I didn't realize, what music was about because I just wanted to be the best. I just wanted to freestyle and rap, rap, rap. Then it became, what I was rapping about, who I was rapping to, and, representing my family, like I said, being, a Garza. And I knew with that name, I was representing my father as well.
Yeah.
So I can't be out here on some knucklehead doing some crazy stuff, knowing once it didn't work for me.
Yeah, that's true.
And then two, it just was a lot bigger than me.
Yeah. What other game did besides letting you know about the business, driving you on a Bentley, Slim Thug, what else did he put you on game as far as you need to like have all this time, you need to set up a shop here and always have merch or things like that? What else did he put you on game?
Consistency. Yeah, man. Watching him over the years from when I rode the school bus, putting out quality music, quality artwork, quality merchandise. That's a consistency thing. And over time, if you can stay consistent and put out quality, people are always going to come back.
Right.
So, there's tons of things he taught me, but there's really main things that as a artist and a consumer, I look at both.
Yeah.
Because you always want to go back.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you've been scaling up from the times you've been dropping your projects. And even in your mind sometimes, instead of like you were talking about before, I can definitely drop an album, but if I don't have enough to go to the next quarter, because you even break it down to the quarters, is that I can drop EPs, which especially with the attention span of people being so short now, and I can have multiple things that I can be consistent throughout the entire year.
For sure.
So that's dope. What was the hardest part that you have run into, or the most challenging part as far as the music business part? What was it?
One was learning the business, for sure. That was probably the hardest thing to get a grasp on. Like
when you're referring to the business, what exactly are you meaning for people that don't understand?
Basically, when you put out a CD, how do you upload it? Where do you upload it? If you were to give it to a company, if they're taking 10, 20, 30% of your life or your album, which is your life, what are they doing for you? You know what I mean? How do you set up your publishing, your ASCAP, your BMI?
Right.
What does publishing even mean? You know what I mean? How much of that do you really deserve when you're making and creating a song with other artists and other producers? All of those things come together with learning the business.
Right.
And that's probably, it really wasn't the hardest challenge, but it was the last challenge I think that I had to get with.
All right. You got tour. We got places you're going to be at. Where you going to be at?
On the 26th, we're going to be in Odessa, Texas. September 15th, we're in Denver, Colorado.
Nice.
September 16th, we're in El Paso. September 17th, we're in Seattle.
Nice.
I'll go back home for a little bit. And then me and Bash are going to drop this Player Man Mexican 4 album. And then hopefully from there, I'll just jump back on the road and keep touring.
La Máquina, what they got coming?
So Cassette Coast, he just put out an album called V, I want to say about a month ago. He'll be working on Beautiful Monsters, which is his first solo album under the company.
Nice.
We also have Buns, B-U-N-Z. He has an album with our homie Risco Funk, a producer that I grew up with. He also has a solo and a duo album with another artist that I highly respect named Fellow.
Yeah. Is he with you? Y'all do songs a lot, but he's not with you.
I grew up with Fellow for almost over, I don't know how many years. And he's just an artist that I respect and that I love rhyming with.
Yeah.
And people that I love rhyming with, man, I always connect with them on music.
Yeah. And then you're here in Dallas. Well, it's going to be pre-recorded, but you're going to be here on Sunday, right, performing?
Yeah, actually, so I'll go host a club tonight, and then tomorrow we're in Fort Worth with 3 6 Mafia and Chameleonaire.
Nice. What's the craziest story here in Dallas that because you've been here many times. We ran into each other before, we met a few times. But what was the craziest story that happened to you with fans, especially with the lady fans?
Whoo. I gotta tell you all.
Okay, we'll do that. All right. So all your social media one more time. Where can they find you at? Like website and everything.
Man, you can hit me up on Instagram at It's Garza. I mean, it's GT Garza. That's ITZ GT GARZA. It's GT Garza. Hit us up on YouTube at youtube.com/LaMaquina.tv. You can hit me up on, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Just search GT Garza. Check out the music, the albums.
The new project, The Man Who Fell to Earth, that already dropped. It has 2 videos. Go blow it up. Go run up the numbers. And GT Garza, bro, or Genaro Tomas Garza.
Man, this guy here is good,
named
bro.
after his grandfather.
Money. He's good.
We're good at that. I passed the quiz with that.
You better than that guy.
So, bro, check it out. So, I really feel like, and I was telling this guy that you're being very consistent in everything, and I'm glad that you're in a place now that you just don't really. I think it's probably your upbringing that you were polite and really didn't want to offend, but it's cool that you're now like you really have to say certain things you're gonna say, right? And the fact that you started from a garage to the back of the bus to 2 years walking and trying to get there to all of a sudden now you're just a CEO of a label, man. That's amazing to me. I call it the Global Latin Factor because I like to showcase Latinos that are doing things globally. And without a doubt, GT Garza, you are a Global Latin Factor, sir.
Man, thank you, bro. I appreciate the love. And I'll be back soon, man.
All right. And one last question before I let you go. If you were to be Google or search many years from now, what do you hope people to find?
Ooh, that's an amazing question. My art, what I left behind, my creativity. We only live for a short amount of time, and I hope what I said or what I done is enough for people to be like, I wish I could have met that guy.
Awesome. That's beautiful, brother. This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember, we are just like you. We are the spice in this melting pot, and it is the world. Till next time. Plus. ¿Qué pasó, mi gente? What's going on? Thank you very much for checking out this episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast, where I hope that you are enjoying the content. If you are, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Tell somebody, and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers for this channel. Again, thank you very much. Go subscribe. We appreciate it.
De la Vigo, walks like a pero but in fact is a flamingo. Coming to Havana and reach from Puerto Rico. On a pirate ship, you don't know where do we go. The birds of the jungle chasing fortune and fame, but Juan is flamingo is no walker.